Yeah, hit the likes and subs. Oh, yeah, they're in full coat mode right now. That's right.
God bless. Good day. Hopefully everyone's doing all right. Thanks for being here. We got a great crowd tonight. Great crowd this morning. We got, look at this. Oh my goodness. We got Rich 3333333. Jeremy Peterson live, dude. This guy over here, Jeremy Peterson live, dude. This guy's he's popular, dude. Freaking killing it on the internet. Holy shit. Who else we got? We got Blood. We got Jimbo Con, Blood Logos, Buddy Boo. 1, 2, 3. Great to see you guys. Hopefully you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic, dude. It's Friday, I do believe, so that's a good thing. Pretty happy about it being Friday. It's been a wonderful week. Still no war with Iran. Looks like my prediction's coming true. I said if we were going to do anything, it wouldn't happen till March. And boy, do I look fucking smart. Oh, it feels nice. Unless something happens today or tomorrow, dude. I'm right, dude. I'm always right when it comes to shit like that. Everyone was like, "Oh, dude, I saw the chatter on the internet. We're going to war with Iran in like 1 day, in 2 days, in 3 days." Nothing. We just sailed a bunch of ships over there for fucking nothing so far. Maybe they're gonna accept some peace deal. I don't know. But because nothing's happened, dude, it's been a boring week. No, I mean, not that people need to die for something to be exciting. I'm just saying. News-wise, sucks. There was the State of the Union, though. I watched it. I was a big time watcher of the State of the Union with President Donald J. Trump, and I thought it was boring for the most part. 2 hours too long. And you know, there were a couple things that were interesting, but overall, dude, it just left me. How did the State of the Union make me feel? Just kind of bothered by some of these fucking Democrats. Just one particular moment, Donald Trump said something to the effect of, "If you're for America and its citizens, please stand up. If you're for illegal immigrants, sit down," dude. And all the Democrats sat down. I was like, fuck these people, dude. Fuck the Democrats. How do you not stand for American citizens? Of course, they prefer illegals, dude. It's no secret. But other than that, I was like, interesting. I'm still waiting. He says we're winning, dude. We're winning so much. I don't get that, dude. What the hell are we winning? You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck we're winning. I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't know. What are we winning at? Not quite sure. I guess what the fuck are we winning at? Gas prices are a little lower. I don't know. We haven't really deported that many people. I was kind of confused by that. I'm like, well, I don't know, man. What are we winning? Maybe you guys could help me out. I'm confused. But so that was this week, and then that was over, and then so far, I don't know. I've been kind of boring. I've been kind of trying to prep for the end of the world in my own mind. I got on sometimes one of my pastimes. I don't do it too often, but I go on Zillow. It's where you go look for homes and property. And I was like, dude, I wonder if there's any good bunkers. In Utah. I'd like to buy a home with a bunker. I'd like some property. And I found one. Surprisingly enough, I found a home with a bunker. I was a little astonished. I saved it for you guys to go over. Cuz I can't really afford this property. But I thought it was kind of interesting, especially the description of the home. I think it's a fair price, but it's in the middle of fuck nowhere, which is a problem for me. So I thought we could go over that, I thought that'd be fun. Aside from that, dude, got my screen time down, feeling good about that, dude. I've been reading more, man. I got halfway through. Nobody gives a shit about this, dude, but I got halfway through 2001 Space Odyssey and I was like, this shit's boring. I need to read something else, dude. So I bought a new book, dude. I bought Game of Thrones. I like fantasy, and I see a lot of people talking about the difference between J.R.R. Tolkien and George R.R. Martin. And a lot of people talk shit on George R.R. Martin. Like, like, is he a good author? Is he all right? And first of all, I think he's a fucking pervert. I read a little bit of the book, and I was like, this guy's a perv. What the fuck? But I think his writing style in general, I think it's all right. He's a decent writer. The guy can write. He's a pervert though. But he writes a decent book, and I've been enjoying reading that. I'm looking for other books to read. I don't want to learn anything. I think reading comes in two different phases. Like, you read to learn something, and I don't really feel like learning about a damn thing. And you read for your imagination, right? So I'm reading for my imagination, just to practice reading and get back in the groove. And so far, I'm enjoying reading at night, dude. It's putting me to sleep. Which is nice. You know, I fall asleep so easy now, dude. I read and then boom, drift off to sleep. But so that's good, dude. Changing my life in little ways. So I'm enjoying that, dude. Enjoying reading again. But I haven't done anything cool, exciting. I went to the grocery store. Nothing cool happened. My life's been relatively uneventful. I'm trying to think if I saw anything worth talking about. Nope. But I do have that home on Zillow. That's the most exciting thing I have probably to go over. No reaction content, really. Maybe, you know, I just have the same things I had last time. So let's dive into this, dude. You know, I've been thinking about the end of the world. I've been just wondering, like, what, you know, all these elites got bunkers. People are saying get property, get away, find a place that's kind of off grid. So I found one. I did the work. I found one. And I'm going to share it with you, folks. I don't know. I should go to, where is it? I should pull it up. That's what I should do. And I want you guys to buckle up. And if you got some extra cash, I encourage anyone to feel free to splurge. Feel free to splurge on this beautiful property in Utah. Actually couldn't believe I found it. I was like, wow, dude, I'm lucky. I am lucky. Let's go full screen. So prepare to be amazed. Shout out to the chat though. How are you guys doing? What are you saying over here? We got Sam. Hi, good to see you. They evacuated the U.S. Embassy in Israel. Really? That's kind of exciting. We going to war. It's a slow roll. I like that, dude. Let the drums beat. Let the drums beat. The dialectics are strong. What's up, Melaforta? I don't know why my chat does that. There we go. Game of Thrones is fantastic, you say. I don't know if you're being sarcastic. You read Childhood's End, bro? It's a short one. Yes, I did read that. I really enjoyed that one. I like that one. I read it a while ago, though. What's up, Daninsky? We got Maryland. Reading is sus. No, it's not. Reading is fantastic. Maryland, people who talk shit on reading just don't read. So I know where you're at when you say that. You probably, I don't want to talk shit on you, Maryland, but I don't talk shit anymore. I gave that up, dude. But buckle up, folks. This is going to be an exciting segment. So this is called, let's just read the description first. Calling all survivalists, preppers, and anyone tired of Amazon Prime taking 2 days. Welcome to Bunker Chic at the Prepper's Paradise. What started as a simple trailer is now a fortified retreat featuring 2 kitchens, 2 bedrooms, and 2 bathrooms. Because even off-grid, nobody wants to wait for a hot shower. A private well keeps fresh water flowing, while the property is loaded with gear and supplies to handle anything from a snowstorm to the zombie apocalypse. Check photos for a partial list. Tucked away in total seclusion, this is the definition of self-sufficiency. No quick trips to town required. For peace of mind, the camera system is already in place, watching over your hideaway. Make sure you smile for Big Brother. When the world gets weird, you'll be glad you're here. I read too much, but the fact we aren't blaming the Jews for it is crazy. Marilyn, you got to stop blaming Jews for everything. It's lazy. The Jews, the Jews. I don't know why people are so fucking obsessed with Jews. All right, let's take a look at this Prepper's Paradise, folks. So far, looks amazing. Look at this. Next, you get a free car. Looks like you get a concrete mixer. You got several buildings. Nice. Let's go to the front door. Can you see the sign for the front door? Let's walk in. I got a couple extra tires, 4 tires, 5 tires. You need tires in the apocalypse. They can be used for many, many things. Let's walk in slowly. Whoa, we got a nice kitchen here. And looks like we're loaded with supplies. We got a shower curtain to cover the pantry. That's always convenient. Screwdriver on the counter, always needed. And a couple chairs. 1 chair. And we got a crock pot. This person obviously has got all the supplies ready for you. We got some rice-a-roni. We got another Instant Pot, microwave. Nice cabinetry. Nice handles. Looks like we got a full sink with any supplies, extra supplies. A teapot. And wow, would you look at this? 2 couches and enough cardboard to keep a nice fire going for, I don't know how long, but pretty long. We got a lamp, nice TV, beautiful paintings on the wall, nice red coloring, and look at the lighting. You got 2 lights. Usually people do their lights on the ceiling, but as you can see, this person put 2 lights on the wall. Never seen that before. It's kind of like not an upside down, but it's like they made the wall the ceiling. Never seen that before. Very innovative. Nice. Another closer look here. We got a mounted TV. We got a chair doubling as a shelf. Extra blankets. We got a huge bag of dog food on the floor. Looks empty, maybe filled with supplies. And another look into, I think, the room just beyond that. It looks like it's a bit of a journey to get there. It looks like we got a juicer available. That's always nice to have a juicer, bag of chips, box of water. And it looks like we had a fan of reptiles. So in the apocalypse, you're definitely going to need to be capturing animals so you can, of course, eat them. And, you need your own farm. So I think if I were to buy this bunker house, this Prepper's Paradise, I'm keeping all the reptile cages. And I'm going to start farming reptiles for many things. Maybe for self-defense. Maybe get a couple Gila monsters. Breed some rattlesnakes. But we got a couple bags of trash. I see a lot of fire starters over here. So you need to stay warm. And we got a wonderful ladder. You're going to need a ladder in the apocalypse. Looks like we got another beautiful kitchen here. We got juice. We got ketchup. We got spools of copper wire. An unopened bottle of water. Gatorade bottle, empty. And we got a family cookbook. And, just a bunch of supplies. Going to need all those supplies in the apocalypse. This person does go to Costco. I can see that. It's nice of them to leave all this. But, what else? We got paper, all kinds of things. Looks wonderful. And, we have extra pots and pans. Cabinetry's looking a little rough, but nice fresh coat of paint. I thought it was the kitchen. That's a dish. That's laundry machine. Top load, convenient. So definitely want to have clean clothes in the apocalypse. Very thankful for that. Here's the bathroom. As we could see, looks amazing. Nice cabinetry again. Beautiful shower curtain. Extra boxes for fire. Nice little medicine cabinet. This is the water heater placed right next to the toilet. Nice wood grain toilet. Beautiful. Beautiful painting or picture there as well. Fresh roll of toilet paper and cat litter. You know, you need some cat litter in the apocalypse. Of course you do. And a nice, this looks like a little, a men's room, a den, a nice little hangout spot, filled with supplies, knickknacks, paddywhacks, lots of interesting things. Lovely. Another spool of copper wire. Don't know what for, but looking good here. Yeah, 250,000, but I think it's a great deal. I think it's 12 acres, so you're paying for the land mostly. Another shot of this area. I think we were just in there. This guy likes apple juice, and we got a jar of Nutri-Grain, a nice little computer. That probably goes for a good penny. It looks like another heater, and a floor filled with shit. All of this is quality material. This looks like another room. Oh, this is the master bedroom. Almost didn't see the bed there. The bed's doubling as shelving storage. So that's convenient. It looks like a laundry hamper. And a nice bookshelf filled with lots of, it looks like Sarah Palin. I see a Sarah Palin book on the top right. Nice reading material. Love to read that. Looking fantastic. Here's, is this the same bathroom? It looks like might be a new bathroom here. We got two bathrooms. There's the medicine cabinet filled with, I assume, antibiotics and other necessities. What do we got? It looks like pee pads, a heater. And toilet looks full. The toilet looks full from this laundry machine. Dryer doubles as dishwasher and oven. Yes, it does. It's a dang garbage dump. It's looking rough, but I think we could do a lot here. Extra toilet paper. The shower looks like it's filled with dirty linen, and they got a nice green towel and some cobwebs above. Oops, went through that pretty quickly. Sorry about that. Nice little view there. That looks like baby powder. Yep, some baby powder for the apocalypse. Fresh, clean towels on the sink. Here's the bathroom. Looks unused. Looks like it's an unused bathroom. So that's nice. Here's the closet filled with extra clothes for anyone who needs extra clothing. Spare bedroom, and it looks like to the door to the outside. Maybe it was the same bedroom. Here's another closet, a workroom. Lots of trash. Ooh, this is his work area. Like a toolbox, wires, everything you might need to build a future castle. Look at all these tools and supplies. Nice workman's bench. Probably every tool you could think of. Amazing stuff here. Hell of a deal. Lots of wire, extension cords. You need those. Car jumpers. TV box. Can't be bothered to throw that away. More cages. What the hell? How many cages? The only person I've seen with this many aquariums is Mr. Burneye, the science guy. Lots of aquariums. What were those used for? We'll never know. But here's the outside. Beautiful. Beautiful. Here's the bunker. I wish they'd show us what the inside looks like, but it looks ventilated. It looks like a secure bunker. This is what really pulled me in, because I'm looking for the bunker, and they got one. They got a bunker, and I am jealous. I wish I could see inside of it. They open the door, but guess what they don't do? Well, maybe they do show us inside. That looks like some kind of pump, and it's... I don't know what they built in here. Looks like it could be the water well. And that's what you get, folks. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful land. That's what you're paying for. You get all that. Amazing. Comes with a free truck. Lots of firewood. And it looks like it used to be some type of farm. Look at all that horse stables. Free RV. I bet that's where they lived. Nice shed. Comes with a shed. 2 sheds. Beautiful land. Beautiful land. There's the details. So anyways, that's the Apocalypse. Beautiful home. Beautiful. And again, just a cool price of $250. It's in Barrel, Utah. Barrel? And that is located in southwest Utah, a little bit north of St. George. So, nice little area. Kind of by Enterprise. So, out of the way, but I like it. You know, I like it. I don't know if you guys, wherever you live, the way I found that house, I just went to Zillow, and you do filter, and you go to keywords and you search bunker. So, that's how I found that little gem. And that was the only one that had a bunker, surprisingly. I tried to do fallout shelters, things like that, because I was curious once again about fallout shelters in Utah. Where can I find one? The Freemasonic Lodge in Salt Lake City has a fallout shelter. But so I was like, because I was thinking about nuclear war, Iran. It's like, I don't have a bunker. Where can I find a bunker? Just in case. And there's actually quite a few bunkers spread out through Utah, and a lot of it's in old, pretty like any junior high or high school that was built in the during the Cold War. So a lot of those have fallout shelters beneath the gymnasiums of the school. So I got a few getaway plans. For sure. I just, you hope you get to the school. You hope you can find the janitor's keys and get into the fallout shelter if we do get nuked. I suggest everyone also find your local fallout shelter. You need to know where they are. You really do. It is a fixer-upper. I honestly never knew they listed houses full of trash. Yeah, well, you can find a lot of good things there. A lot. Why in the world would they be showcasing that dump is for sale? Because it's got a bunker, okay? And it's a prepper's paradise. And everyone needs a place to get away, really. It's a getaway. It's a nice getaway from society and civilization. And that's, that's been one of the highlights of my week, was finding that. But, outside of that, folks, I really don't have much else, unfortunately for me. I have some things about Utah, but I thought about doing my Utah segment over the weekend if I was going to do a Utah segment, cover all the things going on in Utah. There's a few things to discuss. About Utah. But other than that, dude, I'm running out of things to talk about. I'd be willing to bet that there's a dead cat somewhere in that house. 2 or 3. What's up, Quantum Epic? Right along the Western Trail, LOL. Probably haunted, for sure. Probably on Indian burial ground. Probably. So, what else have I been thinking about? Not a lot, dude. There was a few things. I always forget everything I wanted to talk about, which is the worst. I should really write it down. But I'm lazy, I suppose. What else, dude? What else? I could. Oh no, dude. I need to get more thoughts. The title of the show is called Backseat Driver, and I was thinking about that in some sense. Because I feel like that's what everyone in America really is. They're just a backseat driver. Everyone has an opinion on the direction this country should go, how it should go, but nobody's really willing to do anything. Like Maryland over here. It's about the Jews. People will complain. I complain, or they'll point out things that are wrong, but nobody ever really does anything, right? Very few people actually run for office. Very few people actually write their Congress representatives. People will complain about environmental issues and they'll walk right past the trash on the sidewalk. You know what I mean? They won't do a damn thing. And I consider myself maybe a backseat driver. I'll put myself fairly in that category. But I think America, which is funny because America has been a population of people who take action. And slowly that's withered away, where most people just don't take any action. For me, for example, my state's falling it's quickly becoming like California, and I'm not doing anything about it, besides complaining on the internet saying Utah's not what it used to be. But what can I do? What can most people do besides try to point the direction or give advice on how things should go? We're people of inaction now. I guess the people on the left, they're the closest things to, it's strange, like the left, they'll protest. Of course, a lot of them get paid to protest, but with the ICE, they're not backseat driving. They're getting out on the streets. They're on the beat. They're trying to make noise, make change. But the people, I feel like mostly in general, nobody wants to do anything in general. They just want to complain. They want to tell people how things should go, what we should do. A country full of backseat drivers. What direction should this country go with God? Yeah, you get it, Xander. Yeah, I did make myself transparent. Good to see you. I am the purpose and the worth. You ain't Jew psyoping me. Joe Rogan's been trying to get a hold of you, probably. No, he hasn't, Dad. I wish. If I went on Joe Rogan, that'd be the most boring episode ever. Usually when people go on Joe Rogan, they have something to sell or they're an expert in something. And I have nothing to sell and I'm an expert in nothing. Which is a strange thing to be. I'd go on there and I'd be like, dude, I don't know anything about anything. And I got nothing to sell. You always have to have something to sell when you go on Joe Rogan. Like Rachel Wilson, I think she went on recently. She has a book. She can sell a book, and she's an expert apparently in feminism. So she's qualified to go on. I haven't listened to that episode, but I thought that was crazy. It was like, Rachel Wilson. Wow, congratulations. Well, that's exactly what he's been looking for lately. Dang. I should try to get on Joe Rogan. People people have ambitions and stuff, but I don't have an ambition like that. Well, the things I've been doing in my spare time is really trying to create a homeschool curriculum in my head, and figure out the best way to homeschool. That's like what I've been occupying my free time with. And I got a good idea of what I would do, which is, it's kind of fun to think about. I'm just waiting for this school year to end in general, so I can start homeschooling, which is going to be, I think it'll be cool. I was looking at a school called Alpha. I think I've already shared this information, but there's a like a charter school called Alpha, and they use AI in the classroom. And the students spend 2 hours on a computer, and the rest of the day they do life skill things. So they'll learn how to tie their shoes, or maybe learn how to cook. I don't, they just whatever life skills these kids need to learn, they spend doing stuff like that. And only 2 hours a day learning with AI. And the measurement, like when they measure their students' learning, they're learning at an exponential rate. It's crazy how fast these kids are learning with AI when it's done correctly. And when you see that it's being implemented and it's working, and you realize that other schools aren't doing this, right? It really puts it into perspective that, and I knew this with private schools as well, because private schools like Phillips and Exeter Academy, they're in the Northeast, they have quite the laundry list of alumni, great alumni. George Bush, Philip Ray, founder of Oracle, founder of Facebook, Zuckerberg, congressmen, congresswomen. And so my point is that there is a method of education that creates highly intelligent people. And public schools know this, they just don't implement it. And that makes you wonder why. So now we have a new kind of education that is growing in America. Students are learning rather quickly. And it's noticeable, right? But public schools, they don't pick it up. Why don't having AI teaching sounds awful. It kind of does, right? But in some sense, it's not. I think if it's done correctly, I think having AI as a tool can really expedite the learning process when it comes to certain things. I don't think you can replace pen and paper at all. But I think as a tool, AI is probably one of the best tools for learning in general, if it's done correctly. If it's done incorrectly, you're not going to learn shit. You know what I mean? You're going to just stagnate. But our school systems, they don't want to adapt. They don't want to evolve. They want, I think, on some level, it's they want two classes of people, and it's obvious. They want a manager class. They want a working class. And if you're going to educate your kid, you're educating them to be in the manager class of society. And that's kind of the goal, I suppose. You don't want I think there's two paths, maybe three: manager, working class, and entrepreneur, which is basically just a manager who manages their own business. And I think in the world we live in now, there's two options. You work for somebody or you work for yourself. That's the world we live in. You work for somebody or you work for yourself. And most people work for somebody. They work for a corporation. They work for a business. They clock in, they clock out. And very few people have their own business, run their own business. And I see all this doom and gloom about AI taking everyone's jobs. It's weird how like some of the elites just fantasize the utopia that's coming, where everyone's being replaced, and it's kind of frightening. I think it'll cause a big mental health crisis in some sense, because people need purpose. You know what I mean? People need to feel valued, and but working all day, I don't know how anyone feels like they have value if they clock in at a wage slave job and they get paid jack shit, and the task they're doing they don't even enjoy doing, which is, I think, most of the American economy sucks. It's depressing, the American economy. You don't see. It's weird, like you. Went to Hobby Lobby and you don't see happy people at work. You'd think you'd see happy people at Hobby Lobby, but you really don't. Where do you see people who are happy, who are doing a job? You need to start a special school where you teach kids essential skills like how to live stream on YouTube. No, dude. No way. It's weird how many kids do want to be YouTubers, though. They think it is something weird about YouTube, even adults. I grew up watching cable television, right? And I used to think that it's like, oh, I want my own TV show. It was like a dream of mine when I was a kid. And I used to have this idea too where like, you know what I want? Instead of cable with all these channels I don't want, I just want Discovery Channel, Animal Planet, History Channel. I just would prefer 6 channels, 7 channels. And now you can actually do that in some sense. You just pay for a subscription service and get the channels that you want. But my point being, though, I grew up like my idea was like, oh, I'm gonna have my own TV show. And now kids grow up and they don't have really TV shows like I did when I was growing up in the 90s. They have YouTube, right? They don't watch TV. They watch YouTube. They want to be YouTubers. And what a psyop that is. I think it's a psyop to want to work, to have like the idea that you want to be a YouTuber. And Mr. Beast is at the top of that. I think from the outside, it looks like it'd be great to sit in front of a computer screen and make money. And there's there's probably a few kinds of YouTubers. You know, the live streamers, the people who make videos, so on and so forth. But it's a fucking grind. And I don't know, dude. I think any job where you spend most of your time in front of the computer is a shitty job. Especially if you're a man. I don't think men are supposed to sit in front of computers all day. I think it's bad for you. I think it's bad for you to sit in front of a computer screen all day. It's bad for your health, bad for your brain, and in general, not good. But that's what people want. It's weird how people want to be like in the movie WALL-E. They want to be locked in. Click, 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 click. Make money. And I think that's oof. I think the best part about life is like being outside, exploring, doing things. It's strange. People don't go on vacations anymore. They'll just watch YouTube channels of people who do go on vacations, which is probably safer. But people, they really like screens. They like computers, especially Gen Z, Gen Alpha. It's all they've known. But I think if you're a man and you want to be in front of a computer all day, that's you got to be kind of autistic, to be honest. I want to be an Indian-style YouTuber. Just repost scenes from movies and profit. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. What's up, Moldy Apple? Buc-ee's. I've never been to Buc-ee's, but I've heard great things. The authenticity market will be booming. I think so too. But the future's coming down on us pretty quickly, I think. I'm looking forward to it every day. It's hard. I think the future is like being a child and growing. You really don't see how fast you're growing, and it just hits you all at once. And then all of a sudden, we're gonna have Elon Musk robots at a Walmart, at a security checkpoint. It used to be some disabled person. Now we'll have like a robot, I hate how Walmart's turning into Costco where they check your receipt if you do a self-checkout. I'm like, it's annoying. And it's always some disabled person. But soon there'll be a robot doing that. Maybe they'll have a robot in human skin. And it'll double as security. But what else what else is going to, it's really hard to know what the future is going to look like. People are doom and glooming it, saying it's not going to be pleasant. I think people will have mental health crises when, I saw I don't know what company it was, but Jack Dorsey, the guy who founded Twitter, he just laid off a bunch of people. The AI layoffs are happening. And soon there's going to be more and more layoffs, dude. Once they start getting these drones delivering most of the packages, once they have a robot who jumps out of an Amazon truck, picks up a package, and rocks it to the front door, it's game over, dude. It's game over. What are people going to do? They're going to have no purpose. They're like, that's why they want people playing video games. That's why they want people on YouTube. That's why they want endless entertainment. Because eventually when they take away all the jobs, they're going to be like, well, you guys can just enjoy the plethora of content. You can just zombie mode out, dude. Veg out on some YouTube. Veg out on some Fallout. Veg out on what else? Some Netflix. And that's why the entertainment industry is and the gaming industry is what it is. And I think that's why they're going to push more people to be content creators, move to the online marketplace, because, people got to have a purpose. So everyone's going to turn into a streamer. Like everyone became a podcaster, everyone will become a streamer. And there's there's like a certain type of streamer that does, they'll have an avatar, and they're making that more popular so people don't have to dox themselves, face dox themselves. But I think you're going to see a lot more people come onto YouTube, come onto Twitch, and just fill the void. They're not going to have a job. So they're going to come on and they're going to play video games. They're going to talk about movies, whatever. It's going to be a dystopic world where everyone's just always online. More than they already are. Provo wants Skynet AI high. I do. I'd prefer. I think done right, AI in the educational system would be beneficial. Because here's the teachers in school now, they're social justice warriors. They're learning about gender. They're learning about bullshit, civil rights, blah, blah, blah. You have an AI system that just teaches kids the basics, and then the kids the rest of the day learn real life skills. That seems better than going to a purple-haired teacher who's shoving down postmodernism down your throat, you know what I mean, and is teaching you about white privilege. Now, of course, the AI system, if you get the wrong one, it's just basically a purple-haired lady anyways. But done right, the AI system should just be focused solely on education. And then the rest of the school day is like real life skills. But like if you think, it's funny how people like think teachers in America, they're worth something. Most of them need to be fucking replaced. That stuff shouldn't be taught and isn't taught in all public schools. That is the teacher hired that needs to be fired. Well, those are all the teachers. He-Man, She-Ra. Don't you know what happens when people go to college? They get liberalized. I've seen that firsthand. It's like, do you think there's conservative teachers in the public school system? Get the fuck out of here. They're all liberal. Every one of them. And part of that is because they work for the state. So what do they want? They want more pay. So because they want more pay, what do they want? They want to increase your property taxes because the property taxes pay them. So what do the people who are teachers do? What do? They vote for more taxes. Oh, not true. It is true. They work for the state. They want more money. They want more taxes because it gets them paid more. Ultimately, on a fundamental level, they are liberal just by the fact that they work for the state. They work for the state. They want more money. How do they get more money? They got to tax you. So they're for more taxes. They want more taxes. And they come from the college system where, like, how do I know this? I got a master's degree in teaching. The whole system is fucked. I remember doing, like, you pick a philosophy of teaching, And you get your teachers, like these teachers are liberal, so the philosophy I'm going to pick so I could graduate or whatever is I'm going to do critical race theory. And I'm going to take my teaching approach from the perspective that, race is a part of everything. And a lot of these teachers do that shit. And you say not true, but it is true. You know what I mean? Most of the time it is true. And all the new teachers are, there are no more old teachers. You look at any school, pull up any elementary, they're all women, right? Statistically, women are more likely to be what? Democrat, liberal. Just in this country, in this day and age, right now, women are more likely to be Democrat and liberal. Who fills up especially the elementary schools? Women. I mean, just statistically, they're more likely to be Democrat and liberal. I'm right about this. It might make you uncomfortable, but I don't know. It's just the truth. And for you to deny reality is kind of crazy. It's just a fact. And I don't know how else to tell you that. And most of the men who I feel like are in the school system as teachers are not like masculine, there's not a lot of masculine men in the public education system. Most of them they carry feminine traits. They're betas. So what does that mean? They're liberals. I do agree that the traditional school day schedule needs revamping and updated to move from needing a lot of time to do things to a hybrid new school schedule that accounts students having laptops. Well, here's the problem. Students shouldn't even have laptops, right? School should be screen-free, right? You look at the study, the research, the more they implement screens into school, the worse the students' performance come, just to be honest. Laptops are a hindrance to education. iPads are a hindrance to education. They're presented as if they're going to be an aid, but they use the laptops for evidence-based approaches so the students can do whatever, testing on the computer. Then the testing scores go straight to the teacher, and it's all organized and put into graphs. So the teacher could be like, oh, well, this student's showing 20%. Instead of like doing things by pen and paper where the teacher would have to, put everything in a file cabinet from the beginning of the year to the end of the year and then figure out how much they've improved. They've just digitized it all. And, I think it's stupid. You are contradicting yourself. How will AI teach them? You are contradicting themselves. I'm saying there's programs, and look it up. It's the Alpha School. And they don't operate in the way public schools do with their Chromebooks and bullshit like that. It's a limited 2 hours. The rest of the day, if they're at school for 4 hours are off screen. But contradicting yourself. You want AI ran schools with no screens. I'm saying I want, here's what I'm saying. I want the Alpha program to be implemented throughout the entire country. That's what I want. If we're going to do screens at all. Preferably, I'd have no screens. But, they're not going to allow that. Schools have contracts with like Apple, with fucking Windows. So they're already in these contracts and they're getting their Chromebooks, they're getting their iPads. So if they're going to do that, I prefer the Alpha AI program to assist in their education. That's it. That's what I'm telling you. Children have screens in hand before age 1. Yeah, it is a lot like that, unfortunately. I don't like the school system at all in general. That's why I want to homeschool. I think the school system sucks. Take their cell phone away. Yeah, take their cell phones away. And honestly, education is pointless. All school is a daycare for the most part. And you send kids to school, they don't know why they're there. What are they learning for? They could just go home and watch a YouTube video about any subject they want. Most of the things I think once a child reaches probably 10, 12, 13 years old, they realize school is fucking pointless. Okay? So in general, I think school is fucking pointless. I think education is pointless for the most part these days. There's really no point in going. You go to school to learn things. It used to be that before computers, the only way to find something out was to read a book, have a teacher who knew something, or go to the library. So there was 3 ways to learn anything. And those 3 ways of learning have all been replaced with the computer, right? And kids can figure that out pretty quickly. Once they're old enough, they're like, this teacher, why am I here? I could just go home, sit on YouTube, and learn the entire. I could take a Yale class. I could take Harvard class. I could do Khan Academy. I have an AI. I could ask the AI anything, and it'll give me perhaps a better answer than the teacher. I think kids cognitively are waking up to the fact that having a teacher, going to school, sitting in a box for 6 hours a day is fucking pointless. It's fucking pointless. There's no reason to go. There's no why be there. Quick Google search, quick ChatGPT search, quick Grok search. You got the answer. Okay, you got the answer. And what the fuck you learning math for? They'll say I got a program. I take a picture of the math problem, I plug it in, and then it gives me the answer. Why? It's like when people my generation used to say, well, why do I need to learn this? And the teacher would say, well, are you going to have a calculator with you all the time? They didn't know. You know what I mean? They didn't know. And then people are going to be like, well, you need to learn this math maybe for taxes. Well, you just take a picture of your tax form, you send it through the AI, it figures it out. Why do I need it? You don't even need a calculator anymore, right? Calculators are pointless. You can sit in on any college lecture near you. You just won't get credit, but you can get the education. There you go. Social skills. Oh, social skills? You think people learn social skills at school? That's the most retarded fucking thing I've ever heard. Independence and self-reliance at school? There's no such thing as fucking independence at school. Excuse me, teacher, can I raise my hand? I raise my hand, can I go to the bathroom? Social skills? You mean how to skip school and smoke a joint? What kind of social skills do you think kids are learning? Dysfunctional social skills at best. How to misbehave. The idea, why would you, as a parent who would raise healthy children, why would you send them around dysfunctional children, right? And that's most of the public school these days. They're dysfunctional because we've imported hundreds of thousands of millions, potentially, of people into our country who don't conform to our culture, who don't conform to our religions, who are maladjusted, who don't speak our language. You're going to send your kid to school to that and say they're going to learn social skills? The idea kids learn social... They learn poor social skills, right? Kids learn more from bad kids than they do from school in some sense, than they do from their teacher. Social skills. Independence. No, they're trained to be dependent. When kids go to school, they're trained to think that the only way to learn, for the most part, is when you're at school. And what do you have to do? You have to follow the directions of the teacher. You have to sit down, line up, get in line, be patient. Da-da-da-da-da-da. No, there's no independence. There's no independence. Forced social skills at best. What does it say? Oh, the social skills are exactly like prison social skills. Cliques, being cool, hating authority. There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. I will stop. You do sound like you are not well informed. Oh, yeah, I'm not well informed. You just sound, what you sound is... I guess you do sound well informed. You do sound like you've figured it all out. You got faith in the system, which is depressing. You got faith in the system. And from my own experience, when I was in high school, I learned how to smoke a joint. I learned how to rabble rouse. I didn't learn any great social skills. And people, where social skills are learned? From the family. You know what I mean? Social skills. Fucking crazy. Learn social skills from the family. And you don't learn it from other teenagers. You think teenagers have good social skills? Do you? What the fuck? You ever meet a teenager with good social skills? Who knew how to have an eloquent conversation? Who had deep thoughts? Fuck no. Imagining a teenager with social skills. You want to learn good social skills, you should be around people who have them. Most of them, if they have them, should be adults. That's just the truth. I'm not saying it's perfect. Just what you are saying isn't either. Well, we could both be wrong. I wouldn't be, I'm not saying I'm exactly right. But the idea that kids in junior high and high school have social skills is beyond fucking crazy. That's just nuts. What's up, Charles Darwin? And by the way, He-Man She-Ra, thank you for giving me content. Because if you weren't here, you sound sad. I'm actually happy because you gave me something to talk about. Now I just hit the hour and the show's over. I sound sad. That's okay. You could say that. Doesn't hurt my feelings. But, maybe I could be sad. I could be sad because I feel bad for the swath of Americans who are floundering in our educational system, who are becoming delinquents. You know what social skills kids are learning? They're being encouraged by their teachers to go protest ICE. What great social skills are those? They're cutting school and going outside and running in the street. Amazing social skills. Yeah, I am sad for the generations of Americans growing up in our broken fucking educational system. And yeah, you're right. I'm very sad. And stuck in high school mentality. Stuck in a high school mentality. What are these ad hominems? What are you attacking me for? He-Man She-Ra. You're stuck in a high school mentality. All right, He-Man She-Ra. You have your ad homs. I don't need to attack you. I was grateful that you brought you generated this conversation when I had nothing to talk about. So thank you. Do you really think that skill of rolling a joint from high school is a thing that bothers you right now? The skill of rolling a joint. No, I'm just saying when you're in high school, you meet different groups of people. And I didn't always meet the groups of people who had the best track course on life. So, but am I grateful I learned how to roll a joint? Absolutely. It was a cool little skill. And how to blow O's, like Gandalf. Moon soon. Provo, you need educated to understand why education is so important. I do. And the kids beating him up didn't even get suspended or anything. My son, coworker's son was sent to a mental health facility for juveniles because he kept getting beat up by youngins for being an African immigrant without the coolest shoes. Ooh, gotta have cool shoes. It is conversation and in good fun. Well, thank you, He-Man She-Ra. I appreciate you actually being here because without you, there'd be no content. I'd be standing over here. What am I gonna talk about? So, sometimes people don't like pushback, but I like it. I like it. Just don't do ad hominems. They hurt my feelings when you call me sad. I reached the end of the show. Have given, friendly reminder, I am female, have given birth and all. Oh, yeah. Those are a lot of details I didn't ask for, but thank you. It's interesting. You're a female. You go by He-Man She-Ra. Congratulations on having given birth. It's a big deal. That's a big deal. Well, I got no animosity towards you. He-Man She-Ra, I thought you were trans. Thanks for the $10 super chat. Where's the... Well, I think that'll conclude the show. I wish I had a better show, dude, but I need better shows as usual. But this was fun enough. So interesting stream. Well, thank you. You made it interesting, He-Man She-Ra. So can't thank you enough for participating. And everybody else in chat, of course. Quantum, Danininsky, Dustin S, Slowboy Whiteboard, Vladimir. You guys made it a fun stream this morning. Charles Darwin, great to see you. Quantum, Moldy Apple. You guys are awesome. So thank you so much for spending some time with me. Tomorrow, if I do a stream, I'll do reaction content a little bit. I'll talk about the state of Utah. It's like that's one thing I think I might have maybe not monthly, maybe bi-weekly. I'll cover the news in Utah and the things that are going on. That'll be most of my reaction content. If I do reaction now, rather than short clips I'll still might do a couple short clips from X or Twitter. But as far as my shows going on in the future, it'll be mostly monologues in the morning. And then maybe on the weekend, I'll do Utah news and maybe a couple other short form reactions. So I think that's the direction I'm going in, is kind of just focusing on Utah and the things that are happening here in general. But if you guys have other things you'd like me to cover, let me know. I wouldn't mind covering it. Birthing person. What's up, London, man? Good to see you. God bless you, man. So that'll be kind of what I do. So if you guys enjoy that, look for it. If you don't enjoy that, that's no big deal at all. But thank you so much for spending some time with me. God bless you all. It means a lot. And have a great weekend, everybody.